Sairam students, hope all are doing fine. Yes, it's Rhythm is here again. Today we are going to go ahead with our next lesson of our English. This is the last lesson of our first unit which we will be doing. Okay, before we move ahead, I would like to show you some picture. Okay, what do you see in this picture? Yes, we can see a magician showing magic. Yes, this is a hat and then his wand through which he tries to show us the magic which he wants. Now, what are the things which he uses in magic? Yes, uses a hat. You can see pigeons coming out of it, cards, then hair, rabbits, balls, money, all so many things he uses to show us his magic. Now, this magic, as far we know, that whether it is real or it is just an intuition which he tries to create. But the real magic which we can see is there in nature. Yes, isn't it? Is there in nature. Now, apart from these things which the magician is using, then he uses other tricks also to show us the magic. But nature uses us things which is there to show us the magic. For example, when we see nature, you can see a flower blooming. Yes, a flower blooming. See, this is the flower which is bloom. Isn't that magic? Yes. Then the clouds, the formation of the clouds. See, it's so beautiful it is. Yes, isn't it magic? Yes. So this is magic. Now, why am I telling you about magic? Yes, magic of nature, or we can call it the alchemy of nature. Yes, alchemy of nature. Alchemy is rather related to something different. We learn what it is, but there is this alchemy. There is this magic in nature as well. Okay, see the rainbow being formed, isn't it? There's no trick used over here. We know how the rainbow is formed. Yes, after it rains, we can clearly see the rainbow. Okay, so we will go ahead with our next lesson 1.6, alchemy of nature. Okay, fine. Moving ahead, first we'll begin with the frame sentences. Our first word is alchemy. My mother manages by some alchemy to make her dishes delicious. What do you mean by alchemy? Alchemy means magic. Fine. The second sentence, wilting. The plants were wilting due to lack of water. What is the meaning of wilting? Wilting means dropping and drying, drooping and drying. That is the meaning. When there is plants are not watered, you see how the leaves tend to fall off, tend to droop, tend to be as if there is no life in it. So that is wilting. The plants were wilting due to lack of water. Next, conviction. Mr. Sharma's conviction was visible through his gestures. Now over here, the meaning of conviction means strong belief. If something what he believed was strong, visible through his gestures, he wanted everybody to know that what he believed. So Mr. Sharma's conviction was visible through his gestures. Perseverance. Perseverance is the key to success. Your efforts, whatever efforts you're putting in, is the key to success. This is a proverb which I've used over here in my sentence. Perseverance is the key to success. Fine. Now, over here we have an activity. Make a list of living creatures in alphabetical order. You can write more than one beginning with the same letter. Okay, so we have letters from A to Z, isn't it? So alphabets from A to Z. So we can have to write creatures names from A to Z. So from A you can write an alligator, for B you can write a bat, bear, for C you can write a cheetah, chameleon, D, dog, deer, E, elephant. There are so many. Till Z you can name them. Yes, you find them, you will be able to name them. So I hope you all will do this activity by yourself. Fine. Now we move ahead. Alchemy, an ancient forerunner of chemistry, about attempts to convert base metals into gold. Okay, so what alchemy is? An ancient forerunner of chemistry about attempts to convert base metals into gold. But here it refers to a mysterious magical process of transforming things. In this lesson, we are going to learn how it's a process, a magical process of transforming things. How does the nature transform things, and what do we have to learn from all these things? Okay, fine. Now our lesson begins with a poem by William Blake. To see a world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wildflower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. Okay, that's the poem. Now we'll see what is the meaning of this poem. Something as tiny as a grain of sand can spark off an idea of imagination of a huge significance to the world. One can witness and experience the beauty of heaven in something as small as wildflower and derive joy forever. Only one should have the eyes and time to see it. Infinity is endless space, but your small palm can hold the destiny of earth through your efforts. Eternity is endless time, but just an hour in your life can make a difference to the world forever. Great deeds can surpass the limits of time and space, they never die. Okay, so this is the meaning of the poem, where it's telling that whatever is there in your hand, even just an hour on your life can make a difference to the world forever. Whatever things you do, yes, you try to bring about some change in the world. That change what you bring, if it's an effort of an hour or effort of a one year or 1 month or 10 years, that will make a lot of difference to the world if it is for the benefit of the world. So here the last, great deeds can surpass the limits of time and space, they never die. Whatever, see, we have so many people who have done great deeds, so they can surpass it, they never die. Even so, in history we have learned great deeds of so many freedom fighters, but they have the freedom fighters are no more, but their deeds are still alive to motivate us, to inspire us. Fine. We instinctively turn to outdoor activities and nature as a way of relaxing and enhancing our well-being. Nature soothes and nurtures. Nature fulfills and motivates. Nature whispers and commands. Are you listening? When I do it, leaves me in complete awe. Okay, so we are in this, the author is trying to tell us that instinctively means naturally we turn to outdoor activities to relax ourselves. When we are tired, we go to in the lap of nature and try to relax and try to get relieved of our stress. So that is what nature does. It relaxes us, it enhances our activities, it soothes us, it nurtures, it fulfills our whatever we want, it motivates us, it whispers and it commands. Are you listening? And it says, when I do, it leaves me in complete awe, in complete surprise. When I try to do this, it leaves me in complete surprise. We have a hibiscus plant in our garden. Every fortnight a flower blooms on it, big, bright and tender. Through the day it smiles with the sun and dances with the wind, but as evening approaches it starts wilting. The morning after, it withers completely, and by evening it falls and becomes one with the earth. Again, the flower comes to life only for a day, yet it does so in full splendor. What if we too lived our life, however short, to its fullest? So over here the author is giving us the example of a hibiscus plant, a flower, where it is having such a short lifetime, but still it lives to its fullest. Now how does it live to its fullest? It is blooming big, bright and tender, delicate. It is big, bright color. This red, the hibiscus comes in many, hibiscus flowers, they are available in many colors, beautiful bright colors, but they're tender. Now when it blooms after a fortnight. Period of 14 days is called a fortnight. Yes, so every fortnight a flower blooms, big, bright and tender. It dances with the wind, it smiles with the sun throughout the day. But as the evening approaches, it tries to wilt, it tries to droop, it starts drying. And the next morning it withers completely, and by evening it falls and becomes one with the earth. Okay, so it's telling that it is living its life to the fullest, though it is having a short span, though it is having a life of for a day. It does its full splendor, it does it in full capacity. Even if we have a life given too short, we have learned from the hibiscus as to how it can be lived to its fullest. We went to a rocky beach and saw the spread of the majestic ocean and the rocks alongside, carved, sculpted, and shaped by the water. Water is so gentle, rock so hard. Yet, as the water flows over it every day, for years the rocks gives in. It takes the shape that the water commands. Our problems are so colossal and we are so small. Yet, if we persist. Okay, so the comparison between water and rock is given. Water is considered to be so gentle, rock is hard, but still, water has the capacity to give shape to the rock through erosion. Yes, that process is called as erosion. So over a period of time, when the water keeps on splashing over the rock gives in. It takes the shape what the water commands. The rock is given, it takes the shape the water commands. Similarly, our problems are so colossal, so huge, yes, and we are so small, but still we can also make the problems given and take over it if we persist. If we do not give up, we have to be brave to fight our problems. We saw small bits of grass peeping through the small cracks in the concrete pavement. If it left us thinking, however impossible things may look, there is always an opening. Yes, pavements is on the roadways you have. So on the pavements they saw small cracks and saw small bits of grass peeping through it, coming out of it. How is it possible? So it's telling it is though it may look impossible, there is always an opening. You may find there are no end to your problems, but there is a solution to everything. There is always an opening to come out of any situation. Fine. We saw a tree bare of all leaves in the cold winter. In the cold winter months, we thought its chapter was over. But 3 months passed. Spring set in and the tree was back to its green majesty once again, full of leaves, flowers, birds, and life. What if we too had the conviction that, however difficult things are right now, it will not remain so forever? Remember, this too shall pass. So the author has seen a tree bare of all leaves. Bare means without any leaves in the cold winter. In the winter months, you see all those leaves and flowers. We don't find any leaves and flowers on the trees. They start falling off. So the author thought that this chapter was over, that it was dead. But after 3 months, when the spring came, the tree was again in its full bloom, its green majesty, full of leaves and flowers. The birds had come in. There was life. So whatever, if we too had the conviction, we had to have the strong belief that however things difficult are right now, we will come out. It is not going to be there forever. We will be coming out of it. This time, these hard times will soon pass away. Next, we saw an army of ants lugging a fly, which was at least 10 times the ant's size. The ants organized themselves around the fly, lifted it on frail feelers, and carried it to quite a distance. Their teamwork and perseverance were impressive. What if we too are consistent, organized, focused? Spiderwebs are delicate yet very strong. A rainbow colors the entire sky. Oysters take in grain of sand. They open up with a pearl. Innumerable stars shine across the infinite sky. So over here, the author is telling us about the magic of nature. Yes, all this about the magic of nature. The ants, army of ants lugging a fly. Ants are so tiny. Yes, and the fly is 10 times bigger than the ant, larger than the ants. But still they come together on their frail feelers, on their delicate weak legs. They carry this over quite a distance. You must have seen children, yes? And this is teamwork. This is the efforts which they keep on giving, which they keep on doing. Similarly, what if we are that consistent? We keep on we are organized and we are focused. We can also achieve our goals. Spider webs are delicate yet very strong. The spider also, so many times the spider tries to complete its web, it falls down, but still it keeps on trying and tries to complete its cobweb. These cobwebs are delicate but strong. Why strong? How strong? So that it can, get trap an insect. It can trap the prey for the spider. A rainbow colors the entire sky. Oysters take a grain of sand, they open up with a pearl. Yes, so you find pearls in the ocean, that is magic. Innumerable stars shine across the infinite sky. So that is the alchemy of nature, that is the magic of nature. Fine. Clouds take new shapes with every passing moment. The wind makes trees dance with unhindered passion. Water, without hint of ego, changes its form according to the dictates of the sun and the wind. When we see a caterpillar turn into a butterfly, a flower turn into a fruit, we experience the alchemy of nature. We touch it and become gold ourselves. I've shown the picture of the rainbow, I showed the picture of the flower, I've shown the picture of the clouds as well. So clouds take new shapes with every passing moment. The winds make trees dance with unhindered, without any disturbance, passion. Water, without the hint of ego, changes its form according to the dictates of the sun and the wind. When we see a caterpillar turn into a butterfly, wow, that's so beautiful. A flower turn into a fruit. We experience the alchemy of nature. We touch it and become gold ourselves. So when we experience all this alchemy of nature, and when we touch it and become gold ourselves, means when we try to learn something from it, it is definitely going to bring a positive change in us. It is definitely going to help us in the long run. That is what the nature tries to tell us. The nature is teaching us something, isn't it? Every now and then the nature wants us to learn something for our own benefit. Yes? And the author Raksha Bharadia is also telling us that whatever times may be, whatever problems, how big colossal problems we may be having, we should not give up. We should always try to make the problems given, and we should overcome those problems and dominate them. That there are there are no ways as to these problems can stop us from achieving what we want. So that can also be, we are also a part of nature. Human beings are also a part of nature. So that alchemy, that magic can also be brought by us. Isn't it, children? Fine. So that is what we have in this lesson. Such a nice lesson. So many things to learn from this lesson. The alchemy of nature. Okay. There's a homework for you, children. What things in nature teach us the following? This you have to write it in context with the lesson which we have learned. Nothing is impossible to achieve. Problems are permanent. Be humble and adjust. Make the best use of time and opportunity. Be persistent. Many hands make work light. Delicate structures are not a sign of weakness. So these you have to try to refer to the lesson and write it. You're going to do this homework for yourself. Now before I end my lesson, there is something what I would like to tell you. Nature is for our need, not for our greed. Yes, we are learning the lesson of nature. So that is why these two things I wanted to tell you. Nature is for our need, not for our greed. And we are part of nature, not apart from it. So these two things always keep in mind, children. Yes, so that is it what we have in this lesson. We'll continue the second part of the lesson in the next video. For then, thank you. Sai Ram.